If you want to be a powerful, impactful, influential leader, you must both expect and strategize to win.
Carla Harris has been cited as one of the most powerful women and Black executives on Wall Street and in corporate America. She began her finance career as an associate and worked her way up the ranks at Morgan Stanley, where she has spent the past 3 decades brokering deals, executing IPOs, and creating an in-house innovation lab. Here's how she got here.
I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, and I grew up in a no-excuses household. I had no idea that I wanted to do finance. Growing up Black in the South, if you were smart, people pushed you into 3 primary lanes. 1, to be a doctor or a nurse, 2, to be a teacher, or 3, to be a lawyer. It wasn't until after my sophomore year in college that I was exposed to finance and to Wall Street. I realized the things that attracted me to the law were actually found in business. Number 1, I wanted to have a lot of responsibility very early on. Number 2, I wanted to be in a position where I called the shots around important issues. And number 3, I wanted to have a certain lifestyle, i.e. make a lot of money. The other thing, frankly, that piqued my interest and probably pushed me over the edge was the fact that I did not see a lot of people who looked like me. I did not see a lot of people of color. I didn't see a lot of women, and I'm negatively motivated. And when you tell me I can't do something, I'm all over it. When I got to Harvard, I didn't know what I wanted to major in. My very first big class was economics. What led me to being an economics concentrator is this teaching fellow said to me, "Girl, whatever you do, don't major in economics." When it was time to declare your major, I went straight to the freshman dean's office and I wrote down economics. And the message still holds to young professionals: don't count yourself out, because 4 years later, I was graduating magna cum laude in economics. After I received my MBA from Harvard, I started right at Morgan Stanley as an associate in mergers and acquisitions. And frankly, the reason I chose M&A was once again around the negative motivation. And everybody said, whatever you do, don't do M&A because they don't have a life, you're always on call, it's a miserable existence. So I said, aha, I'm gonna do M&A. I knew that if it was that busy and it had that kind of deal flow and that kind of deal volume, I would learn the most in the shortest period of time. And that's advice that I would give to young professionals today. Do as much as you can in the first 2 or 3 years of your work life or your professional journey, and then step back and take a pause and think about all of the skills that you have acquired. Now recalibrate and think about whether or not you want to continue to apply them and learn in that lane, or if you would like to take those skills and actually apply into a completely different industry. What I wish I had known when I started was the power of relationships. I was very focused on making sure that I got the skill set and that I completed the assignments. But 2 critical mistakes: I did not realize how much the relationships mattered to the kinds of things that you were assigned. So if there's any advice that I would give to young professionals, especially young female professionals of color, don't be so insular or don't adopt the, well, I'm just gonna let my work speak for me mentality, because it will not allow you to maximize your success. The other mistake that I would argue that I made is I had a very distinct understanding of what I thought an associate was supposed to do. Here was the associate box, and what I must do is fulfill that and fulfill it very well. When in fact, what you should be thinking about doing is, how can you fulfill that, but how can you look for opportunities to show people what else you can do? Because if you want to make sure that you get promoted at the next level, then people need to see you already at that level. I started on Wall Street in 1987, and what's actually kept me in finance for 3 decades is the fact that it is a dynamic industry. You can't ever really master it because there's always a new product. There's always a different day in the market. Something else happens, and even though you've priced hundreds of common stock deals or dozens of IPOs, that particular day that you're doing that particular deal is a different day in the market with different dynamics and different investors at play. So it causes you to be on your intellectual edge and frankly, your creative edge all the time, and it's been great.